Well, now we turn to this. We all saw the shocking Delta plane that crash landed in Toronto. And despite the horrifying ordeal happening in Canadian airspace, some on the left are still trying to blame President Trump and his recent changes to the FAA for the incident. But when Delta's CEO was pressed on whether this has anything to do with President Trump, he pushed back pretty forcefully.
The Trump administration recently fired many employees of the FAA administration. Do those cuts worry you, and do you think that impacts the safety? I know you just said it's the safest way to travel, but after looking at all these mishaps, a lot of people are very nervous. Do these cuts affect you?
The cuts do not affect us, Gayle. The reality is there's over 50,000 people that work at the FAA, and the cuts, I understand, were 300 people, and they were in non-critical safety functions. The Trump administration has committed to investing deeply in terms of improving the overall technologies that are used in the air traffic control systems and modernizing the skies. They've committed to hiring additional controllers and investigators and safety investigators. So, no, I'm not concerned with that at all.
Well, that was Gayle King being fact-checked. Maybe the Delta CEO has a career in fact-checking, Carly, because I looked at Glenn Kessler at Washington Post, no fact-check. I looked at PolitiFact, no fact-check on this. What he said was exactly correct.
Well, Congresswoman, Democrat Jasmine Crockett from Texas was on The View yesterday. And she said that she attributed Donald Trump's high approval rating right now to people being uneducated. But people will soon learn that Donald Trump is bad when hospitals in rural America start closing down and planes continue to fall out of the sky. So I actually thought that this was a good question to ask, because this is a narrative that's out there.
It is.
And to have the Delta CEO shut it down and say that that's not the case finally puts this to bed, to rest. And he could have easily passed the buck here and said, you know, we're investigating what's going on. All options are on the table. But he definitively said that this cut to, by the way, non-safety critical personnel had nothing to do with this crash.
Well, you bring up the topic of The View and Jasmine Crockett. So we are on the topic of sanguine voices. And with that, let's bring in Scarborough.
This is going to be the political equivalent of death by 1,000 cuts if they don't do this in a more responsible way. So those plane crashes that you're seeing, you're going to see more of them.
I mean, Dr. Siegel, they're losing it.
I think he needs a mental health check there. You know, like you said, the CEO of Delta just said 300 people versus 50,000 employees. And last I checked, this was Canada, by the way, which I know President Trump says it's a 51st state, but he doesn't actually control the airspace there, does he? And by the way, the reason the plane crashed is because it was going too fast and one of the wings fell off and then it flipped. That's why it flipped. The only thing I would say to the CEO of Delta, though, is if I was sitting upside down in that plane, I might want more than $30,000 in reparations. I don't know about you guys. I'd ask for $100,000.
You know, Emily, as we look at this, I want to bring in Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy. He was bringing the point, because this is out there. All these plane crashes are Trump's fault. You know, that's what they're saying. Sean Duffy says this: there's a growing media narrative that there are more crashes now that Trump is president than under Biden. This is false. Here are the facts. In Biden's first month, there were 57 aviation incidents in the U.S. compared to 35 under Trump. And he goes on to talk about the need for improvement of safety infrastructure is long overdue.
And unfortunately, the facts get buried by the more salacious sound bites and headlines that have been peddled by those in the media outlets. Look, the cause of the crash is still to be determined. We still don't know exactly what happened there. But what we do know is you can count on the media to spread the wildfire of non-facts. And the Gayle King interaction reminded me of the CNN interaction when saying that, making the same point about the eradication of those in nuclear positions, and then didn't even know who Sam Brinton was. It's like all they read are the made-up sound bites, and then they do entire shows on them. They base their entire assumptions on them without ever knowing the truth. And I think it's ironic that the same argument, by the way, that they are using in this is the same argument that they used to decry the invasion of Ukraine. Remember, it happened in Biden's watch, but they said, but Trump was the president beforehand. So now, wouldn't they use that same logic here to see, well, clearly the FAA, only 2 A's, was in existence in its absolutely toxic format for the 4 years under the Biden administration. But as always, logic is lost on the left.
Cheryl, you're like my compass on all things aviation. So I'm like dying to hear what you say. Lay out the facts.
Ed Bastian is a great CEO, by the way. He's been on Fox Business several times. No, it's called Transport Canada, to be clear here. They oversee air traffic controls, personnel, airport maintenance, et cetera, operations for Canada, not the FAA. I just want to make that clear. I could not stop laughing yesterday at all the social media posts blaming Trump for what happened to that Delta plane in Canada. Not connected. And to the point, look, Sean Duffy, our transportation secretary, is actually trying to hire 3,500 air traffic controllers right now. That's where our deficit is. Anybody that's been let go from the FAA so far, we're not safety related whatsoever. We need more TSA agents and we need more traffic controllers. As for blaming Donald Trump for what happened in Canada, that just shows the desperation, to your point, Kaylee. But I just want to keep saying this over and over. It's completely safe to fly. I will go get on an Embraer tomorrow. I will fly every day, and people should not be afraid. It was just bad timing. We've had 16 years of safety in this nation until this month.
Great perspective. And blaming Trump, that's what we call low-hanging fruit. And sometimes the low-hanging fruit isn't the fruit you want to pick.